We will now introduce our keynote speaker tonight, Irena Blekys. Irena is a long-standing member of our community who has played a crucial role in just about every community institution we have today. Irena's parents fled Lithuania as the Soviets were taking it over, first to a DP camp in Germany and then to England, where Irena was born. After several years in Canada, her family moved to Chicago, where she grew up in the Lithuanian community on the south side. After undergraduate and graduate work at the University of Illinois/Chicago campus, she moved to Seattle with her husband in 1981. Since that move, in addition to raising her two daughters, she has immersed herself in all things Lithuanian, including lobbying and demonstrating for Lithuanian independence, as a board member and past president of the LAC Washington State, currently serving as an elected delegate to the LAC National Board of Governors, being a founding member of the Lietuvos dance group in Vakarai Choir, helping co-found the annual summer camp, Lankas, fundraising to establish the Baltic Studies program at the University of Washington, and serving on the Scandinavian Studies Department's advisory board, working as the executive administrative director for the Association of the Advancement of Baltic Studies, and teaching Lithuanian history at Linas Heritage School.
Irenos tėvai paliko tėvynę ir atsidūrė Vokietijoje Antrojo pasaulinio karo metu. Vėliau šeima išvyko į Angliją, kur gimė Irena. Keletą metų šeima gyveno Kanadoje, po to atvyko į Ameriką ir apsigyveno Čikagoje. Ten ir užaugo Irena, glaudžios lietuvių bendruomenės tarpe. Irena studijavo Ilinojaus universitete. 81 metais su vyru Alan Johnson atvyko gyventi į Sietlą. Nuo pat atvykimo į Sietlą Irena įsijungė į vietinės veiklos sūkurį. Kovojo už Lietuvos laisvę, lankė valdžios atstovus, rašė laiškus į spaudą. Nuo 84 metų dalyvavo bendruomenės valdybose. Pirmininkavo 91-93 metais. Šiuo metu atstovauja Amerikos šiaurės vakarams Jungtinių Amerikos valstijų lietuvių bendruomenės taryboje. Nuo pat įsteigimo šoka lietutyje ir dainuoja vakarų chore. Lanko stovyklos pradininkė. Dalyvavo Vašingtono universiteto lėšų rinkime remti baltistikos studijų programą. Dalyvauja universiteto skandinavų skyriaus taryboje. Dirbo Baltijos studijų vystymo asociacijos generalinė direktorė. Istorijos mokytoja Lino lituanistinėje mokyklėlėje. Knygų ir straipsnių vertėja. Yra išvertusi partizano Liongino Baliukevičiaus dienoraštį, išleistą Vilniuje 2008 metais. Kviečiame Ireną Blekytę.
As my husband says, I'm a professional Lithuanian. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and honored guests. I am going to take your focus in a different direction. It's wonderful to have all of you think of the past, think of Lithuania. But I'm going to talk about us, those of us in our Lithuanian community. And how did we get here? As you can see on that particular slide, these are some of our logos. This talk will be a retrospective look at the history of our community and organization. It's based on my own participation in this community since 1981 when I arrived with my family. Additionally, members of Bendruomenė were generous to lend me their archives, articles, photos, and chat with me about the past. This year, continuously existing, our community is 40 years old. You will meet these persistent members who kept the idea of community and its values alive. I hope you will understand a little bit better what our community work, how it works, what makes us unique, special, and energetic. Though the focus is on our beginnings, this is in no way meant to undervalue the accomplishments of our dynamic community in the last 20 years, the energy and creativity of the new generation of Lithuania-born immigrants who've raised the quality of our cultural life here, and the commitment of our children who've grown up here and are continuing the work. 2019 has been declared as the Year of World Lithuanians. We celebrate 70 years since the creation of the Lithuanian Charter that underpins bendruomenę and what is the community all about. The Charter describes the relationship between the Lithuanian diaspora and Lithuania. Created in 1949 as exiled Lithuanians were beginning to scatter all over the world from DB camps in Germany, the Charter urged every Lithuanian to preserve, maintain, promulgate its existence, its language, and its traditions for future generations. The Charter reminds us that Lithuanians scattered throughout the world make up one unified world Lithuanian community. A Lithuanian remains Lithuanian everywhere and always. That associations and societies are the operative supporters of ethnic culture, that a Lithuanian establishes and supports religious, cultural, youth, mutual aid, professional, and other organizations. What about our past? Those past Lithuanians that we have not met, but we know some of their ancestors. Before the existence of the Charter, Lithuanians came to America, came to Washington State to earn a living, looking for their fortune. In 1915, it was reported that the number of Lithuanians in the coal mining towns of Roslyn and Clayellum was close to the number of Lithuanians living in Seattle, about 200 people. In 2009, Vilnius Peace has memorialized these communities with a cemetery monument, and a Lithuanian cross was erected this year. It is now a place where we come annually for vėlines to light candles at Lithuanian grave sites. Please look at some of these names and the years when they came. These are considered our earliest Washington Lithuanians. Especially pay attention to the photograph on the left. It is a picture of Kazys Kriaučiūnas K., a judge of the Washington Supreme Court in the years 1931 to 1936. Lithuanian representatives were planting a tree in the Consulate Grove at the University of Washington in 1932. Interestingly enough, in 2009, oak trees were planted to celebrate 15 years of Baltic studies. Daughters of Lithuania, this is a very important organization. The earliest post-war World War II immigrants to come to Washington were Antanas and Aldona Menelga, who arrived in 1959 and settled in Olympia. In 1960, the parents of Aldona, Alexandra and Leonas Gilys, followed with their son, Paul. Alexandra and Aldona were signatories to the creation of the Daughters of Lithuania, organized by Father Goreckas in Chicago in 1959. This organization assisted needy immigrants, and today it provides charitable aid through its fundraising efforts to help those in need in Lithuania as well as at home. Chapters exist in a half a dozen cities. Alexandra and Leonas Gilys received the highest honor from the government of Israel in 1983, which declared them righteous of nations for their efforts to save their Jewish neighbors. Here is a picture of the first daughters of Lithuania who started meeting in 1975. Alisa Lapatinskas served as president from 1979 to 1992. Today, Tanya Floria is president with board members Paulina Gaudis and Ona Spaniola. Daughters' social activities included fundraising. In the beginning, that meant crafts, bake sales, and garage sales. Daughters teach traditional Lithuanian crafts like Easter egg coloring or Christmas straw ornaments. Today, Lithuanian cooking classes are very popular. Daughters' meetings are opportunities to get to know each other better, celebrate the arrival of new babies to the community. The most popular event is the summer picnic that after 1988 became the annual Blueberry Picnic with silent auctions and the treat of the month. Here is a photo from 1993 with those original daughters that met in the 70s. Bendruomenė, this is our community. The greatest influx of Lithuanians after World War II to Seattle were immigrants who had lived first elsewhere in America and then arrived to take jobs in the aeronautic business or in other professional fields. A small Bendruomenė chapter existed in 1962. Mr. Antanas Menelga was president. Later, the last president of this era was Mr. Šalkauskas. From 1968 onward, there was a period of inactivity, but nonetheless, Vasario 16, or as I shortenedly say, V16, was celebrated in homes. By 1979, there was a new effort to again work as bendruomenė, and Mr. Vytautas Lapatinskas was responsible for regrouping bendruomenė, Lapatinskas, Secretary Nijolė Raišienė, Treasurer Gediminas Morkūnas. Right from the start, there were collegial relationships developed with our Latvian and Estonian colleagues to work with Senator Scoop Jackson, a great friend of the Baltics. Here is 1981. You can see these happy celebrants. Celebration of the 100-year anniversary of Christianity in Lithuania. As political events in Lithuania were heating up, we supported those events. In 1989, we held the Baltic Way. Lithuanians, Latvians, Estonians held hands around the fountain in Seattle Center. There was always an opportunity to make a point. Red Army, go home. We brought those to that 1989 event. March 11, 1990. We knew about the vote of the Supreme Council of the Republic of Lithuania that adopted the restoration of an independent state of Lithuania. We met at the Latvian Hall, the community as we were then, with Congressman Miller and his wife there with our president in Bertolite Brain. As usual with Lithuanian independence, the world takes time to catch up to recognize us. So the need was evident to us that we needed to get the voice out and to demonstrate. Even our children were involved in the demands for U.S. recognition of Lithuania's independence by writing signs and marching. This time period provided unbelievable opportunities to meet famous Lithuanians who were now visiting Seattle. Basketball player Arvydas Sabonis, Šarūnas Marčiulionis, Kernagis, Jonas Jurašas, all met, they said, for the first time outside of Lithuania in the living room of In the Brain. We met the U.S. Ambassador to Lithuania, Daryl Johnson, and of course, our friend Congressman Miller attended our Independence Day celebrations. Well, we're fighting, but we're also dancing. Here's Zita and Juozas Petkus dancing. Juozas and Zita arrived in 1978 to Seattle and immediately became valued members of the community. In 1981, the folk dancing group Lietuvos started under the leadership of Zita. She dedicated the next 37 years to lead and develop dancers and bring together a wide community of young people. Zita said this: in retrospect, Lietuvos' value was enormous in fostering Lithuanian identity and building community. Over the years, it has become the unofficial goodwill ambassador of the Lithuanian community in the Puget Sound, representing Lithuanians in local and regional events such as the Northwest Folklife Festival, as well as festivals in Chicago, Toronto, Vancouver, and LA. Now, the Lietuvos leadership, as you heard, has been passed on to dancers Marius Lukusevičius and Beatrice Šelvytė. So the next question is, what do we do about the kids? Our first camp together, it was in 1989 on Orcas Island at the home of the Lieutenant Andrius Musteikis Rankis. With the help of Alias Sparikis, in 1991, a weekend camp at Kursa, the Latvian campsite in Shelton, was organized. The children unanimously voted for camp to go on. Notice the future community president in the front row agreeing. In 1995, finally, a week program run by parents was organized at Kursa. But look at today's popular Lankas led by a new generation of counselors. Lankas camp performances have been enriched by the talents of our teachers, bringing popular songs and dances from Lithuania. The young counselors who themselves were campers at one time are now our leaders. Currently, Jonas Buck, Marius Lukusevičius are our camp directors, and past leaders, Julia Heine and Marina Donaravich. It isn't enough to have a good time, but sometimes you crack a book. In the summers of 1994, 1995, summer studies at the University of Washington started with the help of local Lithuanians, donations from the Lithuanian Foundation and the World Lithuanian Foundation. Over the years, with continued fundraising, the hard work of the Lithuanian, Latvian, and Estonian communities collected the $3 million needed to endow the full language program. This is a picture of then-President Jūratė Harrison on behalf of our community thanking the founders of the Baltic Studies program, Professors Daniel Waugh, Tom Dubois, Quintus Schmidtjens. This is truly a gift from our community to the state of Washington. Fundraising from auctions to evenings of fun with St. Martin's Night, the many years of fundraising brought our Baltic community closer together. The Baltic program lecturers from Lithuania today who teach at the university also provide language instruction to our children at the Linas Heritage School. Well, I say the next best thing to dancing is singing. Our Lithuanian choir Vakarai is led by Dr. Dainius Vaičikonis and accompanied by Asta Vaičikonienė. It is truly a Vaičikonis family effort, along with their daughters Gabi and Camilla. Vakarai were started in 2009. I would like to read Dainius's words on why he started the choir. Ever since we came to Seattle, I wondered why we did not sing during our Vasario 16 celebrations. After all, the song can lift up and maintain the Lithuanian spirit deeper and stronger. It's easy to find those who love singing and love Lithuanian songs. The first opportunity to start a choir was the concert in Roslyn in 2009, dedicated to the Lithuanian coal miners who live there. This is how Vakarai started, and I've been working together with my wife Asta for the last 10 years. They've performed at the Lithuanian World Song Festivals in Toronto, Chicago, and 2 song festivals in Lithuania. The most important thing is to gather together, Dainius says, to sing Lithuanian songs, creating and promoting Lithuanian culture in America. Linas School. So this has been a chronological sort of story of our organizations. Linas School was started in 2012. This is after many years where several parent groups tried to start and run in Lithuanian language for their children, and did not have the staying power that Linas School, professionally run by the person who put it together, Inga Dabashinskaitė. Operating since 2012, it provides Lithuanian language, history, and cultural experiences for young children in the community. And it even offers Lithuanian language and history classes to adults. I'm getting to the point at the end of the history of our organizations, and I couldn't have made this talk without the help of Tulpe Times, the bilingual newsletter of our community. It was originally started by Zita Pekiene in 1981, and after 25 years at the helm, Zita turned over her editorial duties to our newest editor, Nomeda Lukosavichine. Within these papers or these pages, there's an incredible record of all of this information, which is the history of our community. I would like to share with you the story of the Lithuanian Liberty Bell. After World War II and Lithuanian independence, it still took time for the world to recognize Lithuania's freedom. In 1919, Lithuanian Americans decided to procure a Liberty Bell to donate to Lithuania. The Liberty Bell would be a memorial to Lithuania's freedom, similar to the American Liberty Bell. On one side of the bell, an image depicts a Lithuanian knight riding a horse. A poem below it reads, "O ring for ages to the children of Lithuania. He's not worthy of liberty who is not defending her." On the opposite side of the bell, the following words, "Let that bell, the symbol of liberty, testify for ages to the coming generations the sympathy and love of the American Lithuanians for their nation and for the fatherland of Lithuania." In closing, with this picture of you at the last Blueberry Lithuanian picnic, I'd like to take a moment to recognize all of you who are here today as we celebrate the 101st Independence Day and the 29th anniversary of the Restoration. It's a testament to all of you here, your tireless work, your donations, your dedication, your talent that has made our collective past, and we look forward to the future for generations to come. I'd like to thank the past presidents of our community who have stepped up to lead us, and if you could, please stand as I call your name. Inna Bertolite Bray. Norris, Loretta Werner, and Violeta Cupelas Jūratė Mažeikaitė Harrison. Rasa Raišytė. Inga Gaulienė. Rimas Mikšys. Arvydas Lukusevičius. And of course, Ąžuolas Stunaravič. Organizers of this event tonight, without whom we would not be able to celebrate. Could Yulia and Jonas please come forward? In this community is a vital link. We look forward to your continued support and participation in sustaining our common heritage. Thank you very much.